Hello, Nick. Did it seemed like there was not a big stretch where you could get like 7 or 8 stops in a row and get that kind of defensive flow? That's the way you saw the thing fold out all night?
Yeah, I think probably the only stretch, Doug, is when we, went on that little run in the fourth, right, where we cut the 11-point lead down and took the lead. So we did string up a few stops there. Seemed like it was incredibly hard to keep them off the free throw line tonight. I think they shot 28 free throws in the fourth quarter. That's got to be some kind of record.
And I guess the search goes on for some group in that second unit that works together and gives you guys what you need. Chris was the only guy who had any kind of, I guess, big night off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Stanley was okay, right? Dylan, I thought Alex was okay. They're not. I think as long as they don't, as long as they kind of hold tide, hold serve out there a little bit, we're okay. As long, if we get a big night from one of those guys like that and the rest of them hold serve, we're okay. I thought we made a few mistakes with some of those guys defensively, and they shook free on us. That would probably be my only concern right now. Again, I limit the mistakes out of that group and get what we can offensively. I think that's plenty offensively, though. Chris is 24, Norm's 12, it's 36 off the bench. I think that's probably enough offensively. We got to cut down some of the defensive mistakes.
And just quickly on Pascal, he fouled out again. He didn't really have a huge impact on the game. How would you assess his play?
He struggled, Doug. There's no doubt about it. I thought he had a few decent plays and a few good drives in there. But again, he obviously struggled. He's a half count off rhythm here, at both ends a little bit, which is getting him in foul trouble and not letting him be able to finish some plays at the offensive end as well. So we're working back in.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, Doug. Have a good night.
Hey, Nick. Obviously there's been some things off the court with Pascal this week, but in terms of on the court and him getting back to where you guys need him to be, what are you looking for? What do you need him to do going forward in order to kind of get back to himself and playing with that kind of joy that he talked about a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I think that, it just starts again with he's an energy player, Josh. I think, playing with some speed on offense and being a really good, solid defender, impacting the game at that end of the floor. I didn't really see much of the open floor from him on O, and obviously he struggled defensively because he was in foul trouble, or he just got really, really unfortunate. Probably a bit of both, to be honest. I got to look at the tape, but I thought a few of those were pretty light touches, if touches at all, that he got called. He just one of those kind of, snake bitten nights that he had. It seemed like every time the whistle blew, they found 43. Because he was in foul trouble early and middle and late, obviously. But those things, just some speed on O and some solid defense, Josh.
Thanks, Nick. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for taking the time. Pascal had a few turnovers in the first quarter, sort of out of the post, where he sort of looked like he was trying to get the dump-off passes, basically. And then he got an assist off that later in the second quarter. He talked a lot about his strength. Would you rather see him just go up with that sort of like baby hook, or is he trying to? What's your read on what he's doing down there?
Well, he's going to have to read it either way, Eric. And I think it's a good question by you, because I think he did make the right play a couple times. That was the pass. We didn't. We got one. We didn't get another one completed that just probably got bobbled inside, and another one maybe got tipped there. But I thought he also, to your question, had a couple where he probably had done enough to just go ahead and rise up and take the little jump look over the get some clearance and take that shot too. So it's again making the right read. I think there was a combination of both probably that he could have done, and he was almost a little too unselfish tonight. You're
right. Josh asked this a little bit. He talked about last year about not playing with the joy down the stretch. But of course, like when you're struggling, it's hard to play with joy. Like that's the challenge, right? So, other than run the floor, get easy buckets, like what do you tell a guy when he's obviously putting that much pressure on himself too?
Well, I thought he did a couple other good things too. He got on the glass. That's another kind of hustle play, energy play you can make. Put back here and there is always a good energy booster, confidence booster as well. But we just got to find a way to stay aggressive and then make the right reads. That's it. That's all we can ask for.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
Hey, Nick. Sorry, another one about Pascal for you. But we don't see him in the warm-ups. We obviously don't see him in practice. But like, does he appear loose? Does he appear like kind of like that joyous self he spoke of, like when he's not in like an actual game situation?
Listen, Stephen, I think by all accounts he's having good spirited workouts. He's preparing really well for the games. My staff tells me that he's upbeat. When I speak to him, he's been very attentive. He's been good in the team meetings, things like that. So yeah.
And just one more, but like you guys attempted 48 threes tonight, but you did get to the line 27 times. Is that more like the balance that you're hoping for offensively, or is that still too many threes and not enough free throw attempts?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did a better job of attacking the rim. Gosh, I thought we missed way too many point blankers at the rim. We missed a few semi tough finishes at the rim as well. Probably deserved to go to the line a lot more than that, considering how tightly it was being reffed tonight. But we got to play through the hits if we're not getting the calls, and we got to finish those. And as far as the number of threes, there's always, maybe in that many attempts, there's always 4 or 5 that you probably said was a little too quick or a little too guarded, or end up late in the shot clock or something that aren't the best. But again, man, I think you sit there and watch the first half, and we're sitting there taking threes after some ball movement and a paint touch and a swing around with wide open, and we're just going to have to stick a few more of those, I think, and everything will feel better.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Stephen.
Hey, Nick, we talked all the time last year about the jumbo lineup, and you sort of did something like that with Boucher and one of the other bigs tonight. I'm wondering what you thought of that. You seem to be smiling. What did you think of Boucher sort of as the power forward?
Yeah, I mean, he's played good there 2 games in a row, Aaron. So that's good. I think, we just couple things. We just need to be bigger when we're playing a really big team like they are. I mean, they're big as heck, right? With Adams and Ingram and Zion out there, and they still got a couple other guys that come in too that are good size. So just trying to match up a little bit athletically and size wise. We went through a tough stretch on the glass, so again trying to get some size in there to help us rebound. But as far as the way Chris has played with those guys in 2 games, it's been pretty good at the 4, and we really need some depth there. So it's good to see that he's been able to make a transition kind of on a need basis right now, and it might be something we can count on.
You started Baines, you went to Len early. Boucher had a good game and obviously played a lot of minutes. We talked earlier in the week about how it seems like there's some searching going on at the center position. Are you still feeling that way? It's trying to feel out, matchup wise versus who should start or maybe not start, but who should come off the bench and play heavy minutes?
Yeah, again, I think it's just who's out there we're playing against, Aaron. I just think that Baines had an early run against Adams. Just looked like he was a little winded. I didn't really want Chris to go tangle with him. So we went to Len for a few minutes there and then ended up bringing Chris at the 4. And then when they brought Hayes, we moved Chris to the 5. And we were just trying to do the best we could with the matchups. I don't think it was a searching thing. I thought all those guys played well, and they have played pretty well. And if you look at the composite of how those 3 5-minute played, it's been fairly solid. Maybe a game or here there that Aaron would probably like a redo on, but other than that, out of the 5 games, he's had 3 pretty solid ones, and Alex has had a couple solid ones, and Chris has had 3 or 4 solid ones too, and some really good ones. So I think it's been okay, and I think we'll just keep, depending on who we're playing, jockeying it around that way.
Thank you. Safe flight home.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, everybody.